All right, so we're back. This will be the second installment of maintenance on the 68. This is going to be a little bit more basic standard maintenance. Doing an oil change for the first time since I inherited the truck 2 years ago? A year ago? It's 2025. If you carry. A year ago. A little over a year ago. I don't know when the last time it was done prior to that. Before my granddad passed and everything, so I don't know. I do know from checking the oil, like fluid levels, that she doesn't burn too much oil, which is good. But I also know that it's due for a change. That's some dirty oil in there. And by dirty, I just mean used, well used. So we're going to swap it out. And for these trucks, you got to use something different. So she was about a quart low, so previously I only put this old bottle, but I got some fresh in the house to put in, but use some straight weight 30. No synthetics. There's nothing wrong with synthetics. However, with these really old engines, they do tend to burn a little bit of oil, and the synthetic stuff just doesn't I don't know. It works, it's fine, but when you get like the classic straight weights, you're less likely to find a bunch of leaks around valve covers, or at least that's what the old heads told me. That's what they told me. I don't know, we'll find out. But I got 6 brand new quarts of that we're going to throw in it today. New oil filter, obviously you got to do that. And then later I'm actually going to be popping the cover off of the rear differential, because there's a little bit of a leak coming out of the bottom of the gasket. So I got a brand new gasket for that. Got some RTV to help seal that up in there and marry the surfaces real good. And while it's off, we're going to go ahead and wire wheel it or brush it and get it all nice and spruced up. And then I got some black high heat automotive paint. We're going to rattle can it and make it look a little bit prettier putting it back on there, because, well, we're already going to have it off. Why not clean it up, right? So let's go ahead and dive in on this. Just like that, oil change complete. Ran into a little bit of a hiccup though. I didn't know what size this drain plug is, because like I said, this is the first time I'm doing it. Turns out it is a 7/8 inch socket, which I know, if you paid close enough attention during my fancy dancy little time-lapse stuff, this socket, this deep well socket, that's not what you want to use. No. A standard socket, sure. Deep well, that's all I had. I'm just a dude in his carport doing maintenance on his truck, and well, quite frankly, I have a socket, ratchet and socket set that I've had for a long time, It's one of the bigger, like 250 piece kit deals, whatever. It's got a couple different size drives. However, one thing it does not have is a 7/8 inch socket. And like I've said a few times, this is my granddad's truck. Well, I also happened to get his little Craftsman toolbox that he had here recently. I was able to get that from my grandparents' house and brought it down to where I reside. And luckily for me, he made sure I was going to have the job I needed to get it done. Is it necessarily the best socket for it? Nah, it's a deep well. You don't really need to use a deep well for it, but he had one in there. So he hooked it up. We got it done. At the end of the day, it's done. That's what matters. It's got the plug back in there. It's nice and snug. Oil filter's on there, nice and snug. Threw 5 quarts of oil in there. That's what the interweb says that she requires. I got to go handle a couple things in the house, and then when I come back out, we'll go ahead and we'll check the oil level, and then we're going to need to go ahead and we're going to need to turn her over, get her running for a minute, build up oil pressure, and make sure there's no leaks around the filter, make sure the drain plug's nice and snug and not going to cause any problems, and basically just check our work, make sure it's not going to be catastrophic the first time we go to fire it up and cruise her around. So I'll be back. All right, so oil's in, ran it for a while, no leaks, no issues, so we're good to go there. The other bit of maintenance that is probably grossly overdue on this truck that I am going to make sure I get knocked out while I'm out here doing it is greasing all of the U-joints, tie rod ends, other steering components, basically anything underneath the truck that has a little grease accepting little like nozzle piece deal. I'm gonna go pop this sucker on there, pump it a few times, let the boot fill with grease, and then bada boom bada bing, we'll be done with that too. Okay, so I am reinstalling my rear diff cover. I had some company come over and help with some of the work, and I got kind of bad about recording, but we took it off. We wire wheeled and Brillo pad and just did what we could to clean it off really, really well. And then we just hit it with some black high heat spray paint. And now, after putting a nice bead of RTV all around the edge of it here, we got her back on. We're getting all these bolts hand tight, and then I'll go back around and I'll tighten them in with my ratchet here in a second. But if you can see, I don't know if you can look super close, but from everything I saw, read, and was told, if I'm using the right amount of RTV, there should be a small bit that pushes out the edges pretty evenly around. And so far, from what I can see, I was successful in that endeavor. So now it's just a matter of getting all these bolts in and getting them all nice and tightened down, and then we got to refill the oil. Now, unfortunately, I meant to stop on my way home from work one day this week and grab the oil because I had everything else that I needed for this project but that. And you'll never guess what I didn't do. That's right, go get the oil. So I'm gonna put these last couple on here, and then I'll get back under here, I'll start recording again, and I'll do a more close-up, so hopefully you can see that little bit of RTV poking out, and then yeah, we'll get going from there. So yesterday I had a list of maintenance pieces I was doing to the 68. I got through all of them. Had a couple buddies come over, help me out a little bit. We got the rear diff done, but still got to put the oil in it, which is what I'm about to do. The oil change itself went really well, no issues. Got underneath it, re-greased all the grease points underneath, tie rod ends, U-joints, the different U-joints going down the drive shaft, and so on. So she's all greased up underneath. Hopefully the steering will be a little less stiff, because she was getting a little stiff on me last time I drove her. Could be because of the grease, could be because of something else we're about to find out. But I'm throwing in the new oil into the diff in the rear end, and then we'll be taking it on a test drive, and we'll see how well she runs and drives again. I was having some technical problems with the camera while I was doing the diff work, and I had company over, so I kind of forgot about the camera. So I don't have a whole lot of footage of it, but we took the cover off. I took a wire cone on a drill and took off all the big gunk and crud and stuff that had been built up on it, and then I re-hit it with some black spray paint, covered it up. She looks real good. I'll film the refilling of the oil when I get down there, so you'll be able to see it. And then yeah, we got it back on there. I used a black high heat, great with oil RTV to create the new seal. It's my first time ever using RTV, so hopefully I didn't mess it up and it's not going to leak. We're about to find out. So let's get under there. Let's get this oil in it. I want to get all this work done so I can clean up and I can take it for a test drive, because I'm dying to get her back out on the road. Well, she took almost the full 2 quarts, which pretty much tracks with what I was able to run down on the internet as far as how much fluid she'd take. So now the only thing to do is drive it around, get it splish splashing around in there, and see if it starts to leak. Because as far as I can tell, it's not dripping out of the new seal, just sitting here stagnant. I don't see any drips forming. I felt around. Kind of hard to tell if it's actually leaking or not, only because of how the surface is all gunked up and gummy from the previous leak. I didn't get to clean off the whole diff yet. So now the only thing left to do is clean up our mess, and we're gonna need to get this old girl running, get her on the road, and well, that'll be the real test of if she's holding up back there or not. I'll take her around the block a couple times, pull her back in the driveway here, get out and get back underneath her back there, and well, if she's leaking, then only way to fix it, pull the whole cover again, redo the RTV, and on round 2, I guess, put a little bit more than I did on round 1 if it leaks. Hopefully it won't. So also, I decided on the plug there, I use these locking slip joints, that little silver dot there that'll actually lock into place. I really like these. I feel like I get a really good grip with them. However, realistically, you should probably just use a crescent wrench. I have one. I just, in the moment yesterday, grabbed those instinctively because I like them a lot. But a crescent wrench would work a lot better getting on there. But she's nice and full up. Stick my finger in that little fill hole, bend the pinky a bit, and I can feel the tip of my pinky get submerged in it. So the oil level is all the way up there, which is good. Everything I read said these things will usually take about 2 quarts. I do have a little bit left in my second quart here. So hey, if it says it's full, it's full. I'm not going to try to sit here and overfill it because then it's just going to run out. That's why I had to grab the rag and throw it underneath it to catch a couple drips and then go up, clean up around it. But she's nice and clean, doesn't seem to be leaking. Like I said, yesterday we did the oil change. I fired it up, let it run for a while after that. It held really healthy oil pressure, and the oil level looks okay. Might be a touch low. I might need to go ahead and order another quart so I can throw a little bit more in there. And then I greased up all of the U-joints, tie rod ends, and all the steering components with my grease guns. So I'm going to clean up all my tools because in the haste of finishing up yesterday, so I can move on and do other things. I just went ahead and threw them all in the cab here. So all of my tools are just kind of sitting in there right now. I need to get them actually put away. And then once I'm done doing that, we'll take it for a test drive. And as per usual, you know, if you did decide to go ahead and watch my video and click on it, I greatly appreciate it. But this is just me, man, just a dude in his driveway trying to restore a family heirloom with the tools I have on hand. So this is more so a personal vlog to pass on as the truck gets passed on, so that way, you know, if an issue arises with it in the future, it's like, well, how do I do that? Well, guess what? I can show you how to do it in your driveway for, you know, on a budget. Anyways, if you decided to watch, appreciate you. Have a good one.